Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hey, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you're back, as always, welcome back. And I'm back. So I am just freshly back from vacation as of just a couple of days ago, and I'm slowly settling back into my routine with all things diamond painting, YouTube, Instagram, what have you. And I cannot wait to share all about what that vacation looked like and lots of really ridiculous and funny stories, I think, to come. But first, let me give you all the quick info about what I am working on and using tonight. So tonight we're doing a WIP and Chat, which if you're not familiar, WIP stands for work in progress and chat means we're going to chat and catch up. So I'm going to be working on a diamond painting. Feel free to pull out a project to work on while we chat. You can have me in the background for whatever you want. Driving, housework, other crafting projects, whatever. I'm just glad you're here and looking forward to catching up. So I am working on Spirit of Flight, which is a piece licensed from the artist Josephine Wall. And this is the one from Diamond Painting Deutschland. And it's part of my comparison project, and I'm just really enjoying working on this one for the moment, so I'm taking advantage while I'm in the mood. I actually just finished a rather large mail haul video just before this, like literally. I finished filming that video and immediately set up for this WIP and Chat. And I decided I wanted to try lots of the new things that came in that video in our WIP and Chat tonight. So the one exception is this is a minder. And no, I didn't unbox it tonight, but it is themed after It's a Small World. And I was just at Disney World, so it seems rather appropriate to use. And then this is a brand new pen that I just opened up. It's from C'est Plus Beau à Tour in France. And look, I'm on a kick. I can't help it. I'm on a kick with captive ring pens. And this is pink and it's a hybrid and it's asymmetrical. So it's like hitting all the things that I really love right now. So yes, I will be using this one. This is a skinny middle multi-placer from the Sleepy Cat store on AliExpress. It's one of the thin ones. In this multi-placer, I have Sensible by Design, and then this is a new to me scent of Not Your Mama's Mud that I just unboxed. This one is Jeremy's Cozy Campfire. Finally, this tray is one of the Max trays from Bella Art & Nicole. I haven't had a chance to try out one of these larger size trays yet, and I'm so curious to and can't wait to use it in this video. I will link all of these things down in the description below, including a link to the playlist for the comparison project I'm doing of Spirit of Flight. Please feel free to check out all of the things. And of course, stay tuned for the small shop haul unboxing that'll be coming probably tomorrow, probably Tuesday for you guys. So let me peel back this section. As it turns out, the cover minder is just going to be pretty decoration for the moment. Let's peel back this section. And let's start working. Oh, you guys. Okay. This kit is so confetti heavy. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're just going to pick a color and we are going to get started. So, that's right. How do I want to do this way? How are you all doing tonight? I hope you're doing really well. Sorry, I don't tend to reach for I have a few of the smaller Bella Art & Nicole trays, and for whatever reason, that's not for whatever reason, I know why. Like, they're really good quality and everything, but I just find myself reaching for larger trays, so. Okay. It smells like a campfire. This scent, like, did I say that? Jeremy's Cozy Campfire. Super fun. And then I don't think I need to reload my putty, which is fine. So what have I missed? Of course, I just had that Hamilton song come into my head. If you've seen Hamilton, then you know. Speaking of, oh man, I didn't get to unbox that one tonight. I had some really, really fun minders come that are Hamilton themed from a new to me small shop. And those will get showcased, I think, next week, because I had so many packages waiting for me. I was like, I can't put these all in one small shop haul video. I'm just going to split it into 2. I don't know if I'll do 2 this week or just... It depends. I suppose it depends on how many packages I get in this week. Whoops. In particular, I keep getting more pens. I need to, like, destash my pens. That's a thing, right? Are there pen destash Facebook groups? Okay. So things that have been going on diamond painting wise, and I'll get to all the vacation stories after we just sort of catch up on diamond painting things. So today's Sunday when I'm filming this video, I put up my final video in the Summer with a Master series, and it was kind of like fun to get to wrap up this event because it's been going on since May 1st. And we were planning for quite some time before that. So it's rewarding in a lot of ways to have wrapped that up. This was the first event that I've ever hosted. Well, and I co-hosted it. So my first event, I didn't have to do it solo. And it was a lot of fun. And it's bittersweet that it's over. I'll just put it that way. But a little bit less bitter because I get to host another event with Jessica in like a minute. We're co-hosting Drills and Chills 2021 together, and I'm getting really, really stoked for that. That's coming up. I have lots of kits that I have to try to decide between to work on for it, and I'm very excited. And it seems like a lot of other people are too. There are like almost... Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I was about to say there's almost 1,000 people. No, there's like 875 or something. People in the Facebook group that I created for Drills and Chills. And that's been kind of an adventure to moderate. And like it would be such a hot mess if it wasn't for my mod team, like for real, especially with me being on vacation. Oh my gosh. They're great. But it's honestly, it's a lot of like people sharing pictures of kits that they want to know if they qualify for the event, and us just like staring at these pictures and going, does this qualify? Do we say that this qualifies? Could you call this spooky? Like, is this like ominous? Okay, it has a skeleton, but the skeleton's having like a party, or it looks happy. I don't know. So I'm like, the people pleaser in me is like, oh my gosh, how many people are super freaking annoyed with me because we've said like no to these really, like in my mind, slightly more obscure kits that they've asked, like, does this qualify? So, and I'm not holding it against anyone. I just am like, it's been way harder than I expected to try to make some of these calls. Anyway, but hopefully the Facebook group will be a really fun way to follow along with people's progress, especially people that aren't necessarily on Instagram. But yeah, no, the Facebook group isn't at all a requirement of participating in Drills and Chills. Like, to be eligible for the grand prize and all that, you still have to like fill out the Google form. To be eligible for weekly prizes, you still have to comment on our YouTube videos. Maybe I do need to refresh this wax. I'm having like major issues with drills falling off. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. So anyway, that's Drills and Chills. We have lots and lots of sponsors, which will be a lot of fun, and lots of like really, really fun giveaways that we're going to get to do. So, do I want to put some more in here, or does it just need to be flattened out? Okay. So going on vacation was like super fun, but I ended up not putting up any videos while I was gone. It was such a frenzy to get everything packed up and good to go, like leading up to vacation, because you guys, traveling with kids is just its this whole other beast. And so I ended up not getting, even though I had several videos recorded, I just didn't have time to edit and upload and add all of the like little YouTube things to them, like end cards and I cards and all the cards and descriptions and things. things. So I just thought, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'll just take the week off. I put up the community post that was like, yeah, there probably aren't going to be any videos this week. But now I have such a huge backlog. Like, I half expect my phone to run out of storage space in the middle of this WIP and Chat. So I'm definitely going to be just keeping an eye on that as we go here. But fully expect that this week I might have like daily videos. Like, really daily videos. But that's okay. We'll play some catch up. In particular, so right now I'm just finishing up another column of this Josephine Wall project. And, so far, the 2 columns that I completed before this, I have yet to actually post those comparison videos for that project. Like, I've recorded them, but I haven't edited and posted them yet. So I'm probably going to finish this entire project and then just still have like a few weeks before I finish putting up all the videos in the series because I'm spreading them out a bit. But I just have been on a roll with this Josephine Wall project. After I finish this column, I'm going to be 3/4 done with this canvas. I still have to do this column in the Diamond Art Club version, but that'll go a lot faster, as it always does. But yeah, I just have been super in the mood to work on this since I got back from vacation. Something else fun that happened I think it was the day I got back from vacation, maybe the day after. I honestly wasn't really paying attention to my subscriber numbers. I was just in such vacation mode. I was barely opening YouTube. But I was so surprised when someone messaged me and was like, hey, congrats on 6,000 subscribers. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And sure enough. So thank you so much for helping me hit that milestone. And I still need to do, I have planned to do this whole set of 5,000 subscriber giveaways that I'm planning to just do belated next month once my kids are back in school and I feel like I have a little bit more margin to do things during the day, go to the post office and ship out giveaway prizes. So yeah, that's just going to be a belated set of giveaways. But if you're watching my WIP and Chats, you won't miss those. So you're in the right place. Other things that are coming up, I think that was really it. Let's talk about vacation. First things first, I fully 100% understand if you disagree with the fact that I chose to go on vacation to Disney World with my family, given the state of things in the world. I have gotten a little bit of backlash for that, which is fine. I will just say that it was not a decision that was made lightly. I still feel very torn over it. But what it came down to is that for the sake of my family's mental health and the people that were going's mental health, we needed to go. And again, I understand if you disagree, but please don't treat me as though I was making that decision frivolously or lightly, and imply that I'm putting my children at risk. I'm not going to tolerate that at all. And I'm very, very grateful that Disney World in particular, Disney World and Disneyland, no matter what their respective states are doing, and in spite of the fact that Disney is this massive, insanely huge company, they're still a private company. They can still set policy as far as masks and other cleanliness and regulations go. And my goodness, they were on it. I felt so much more safe than I was, you know, expecting to. Like, I felt safer there than I feel like just shopping in California. So it was a really, really fun trip. It was a bit of a whirlwind trip, really, because we flew from California to Florida. It was a direct flight over 5 hours on a plane with a 3 and a 6-year-old. And we flew there on a Sunday. And there's also a 3-hour time difference. Florida is 3 hours ahead of us in California. Flew there on a Sunday, got there in the evening, and pretty much went to bed once we got there. And then we had 3 full days there. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 3 full days there. And then on Thursday morning, we flew back. And I am still kind of in shock at how much we packed into those 3 full days. And I'm really happy with like how much of a trooper my kids were, because my kids, the pace that they're used to going at is generally a much slower one. You know, like we'll try to do like outings and stuff like that, but we're not ones to just be on the go all day. Like that's just not our vibe. But given that like we were at Disney World, we had spent all this money to be there and do these things, it was like, well, we're going to try to push as much as we can. Like we still want everyone to have a good time, but we're going to see if we can push the kiddos a little bit to see if they can hang for longer than we otherwise would, you know? So we ended up doing like 2 of the 3 full days we spent in the Disney parks. If you're not familiar with Disney World, there are 4 separate parks. And they're not, like, you can't just walk freely between them. You have to, like, take a shuttle or some other form of transportation to get in between these parks. Each of the parks is huge. So we decided to do 2 parks per day for 2 days. And then the other day, the 3rd day, was just going to kind of be a day to like resort hop and like relax or shop or whatever. And between the jet lag of the time difference and just like all of the walking, I don't know that I would recommend trying to do all 4 Disney parks over the course of 2 days, because it felt like we basically just got to do a couple of rides in each park and eat like a meal in each park. And then, you know, the kids would be fried, or we would just be tired, or we'd just run out of time. So I don't know. But we got to do a lot given that. And we got to ride a lot of fun rides, and the kids got lots of really fun cousin time together, and there was lots of lovely, fun Disney magic. So we stayed at one of the like 25 Disney resorts that there are, because they were running like a sale. And there was something that was really neat about staying at one of the Disney hotels, because then it was like we didn't have to rent a car, because there were shuttles from the hotel to any of the other resorts, shuttles to the downtown Disney district, which that's what they call it here in California at Disneyland, but in Florida they call it like Disney Springs, but it's just like it's an outdoor shopping center. And there's shuttles to like the other hotels and all the parks. I don't remember what all I said, but it was really nice, because then we didn't have to spend money to rent a car. We stayed at, the resort that we stayed at was like camping themed, and we stayed in cabins. Now they were air conditioned cabins. They were very nice. They had like a full kitchen and living area. It was kind of like staying in a suite, really. And so it worked really well for a family to stay in, I feel like. I would totally stay there again. And we rented a golf cart, which the kids thought was just like the best thing ever. Like at one point, my kiddos were just getting restless, but we weren't ready to go back into the park again. And so I asked my father-in-law, like, can you just take Connor and Micah like in the golf cart and just drive them around the resort? And he was like, yes, I'd love to. And the boys just absolutely loved that. So we went with Adam's parents flew down from Ohio, and Adam's sister and her kids flew down from New York. And so it was like that sort of bigger family vibe of a vacation. And it was neat. It was really, really neat. It was cool to get to do Disney World with our kids because we live just 15 minutes. Oops. No, don't stick, come back. Oh no, this double-sided adhesive. Whew. This double-sided adhesive is super sticky. We live 15 minutes from Disneyland, and we've had annual passes for a really long time. We don't currently have them because they suspended, like they got rid of them for a while and they're relaunching them. I don't know. We might get them again, but we're just going to wait for the moment. So like Disney is very familiar to us and has a lot of like charm and magic and nostalgia, but the reality is that Disneyland is like a million times smaller than Disney World because, hello, California, they just pack everything in super tight. There just isn't any space for them to expand. And so we had always said like, oh, someday we'd really like to take the kids to Disney World because it really is just very magical. Now, again, it was such a whirlwind, and the way that we kind of divided and conquered because we had kids of a huge variety of ages there. So I had my kiddos who are 6 and 3, and my nephews who are almost 7 and 2. And like 3 of the 4 kids are basically confirmed autistic. And so we just wanted to have as much flexibility as possible. So we kind of like divided and conquered. It was like, okay, I'm going to be in charge of Micah, and so is Adam's mom, and then maybe Adam. But just the way that we kind of split up, I actually didn't get to spend a lot of time with Connor on this vacation, and that made me a little bit sad. And so I thought, well, this was, you know, a really special time with Adam's parents and his family, but I someday want to go back, like just Adam and our kids, and oh no. Okay, only one drill went flying. I'm so klutzy lately, you guys. Someday, you know, when we win the lottery and we can go back again, I'd really love to go, like, just our family of 4, and I wonder, like, what that experience would be like. And maybe when Micah's a little bit older, because he did not want to stand in lines. So let me tell you how our trip started out. It had me in full-on panic mode, quite honestly, because, so Sunday, we flew out, as I mentioned. We flew out of LAX because we were able to get a direct flight from LAX to Orlando. And typically, LAX is not usually like that terrible of an airport. And we kind of thought like, well, we know that more people are traveling now, but hopefully it's still not going to be like super crazy, or at the very least, hopefully it's not going to be any worse than when we've like flown at the holidays. You guys, oh my goodness gracious. It was absolute pandemonium at LAX. We had to wait in line for 45 minutes just to check our bag, just to drop off our checked bag at the counter. And then, which we've never, ever had to do that, wait that long for that before. And then security was like another 45-minute wait. And we discovered that Micah really won't stand for waiting in line. You guys, like, of that, hour and a half of standing in line, Micah was screaming inconsolably for half of it, easily half of it. I was so frustrated. My anxiety was through the roof, and like he wouldn't soothe for anything. Like I was even trying to like, here, Micah, you want to watch a show on my phone? Do you want to play games on my phone? Which like he never gets to play on my phone, and usually that's like the ace up my sleeve, like that I can get him to chill out for that. But no, he just, anytime we would stop moving, he lost his ever-loving mind. I was so stressed. I was beyond stressed. And when we finally got through security and had the chance to just sit down and breathe for a minute, I just looked at Adam and I was like, if this is a preview of what he's going to be like waiting in lines at Disney World, I am gonna lose my mind. Like I can't. Like this, I'm so nervous. I'm so anxious right now. And I told him, I'm like, it's gonna take me a little bit to like come down from this, but like that, I was not expecting Micah to get upset about waiting in a couple of minor lines at LAX. Like oh my gosh. So I was very nervous going into it. The kids did okay on the plane ride itself, thankfully. They have tablets and we let them basically use them completely freely on the plane. And then when we got to Orlando and, finally got all checked in and settled at our cabin, the boys fell asleep like so fast. So fast. And poor kids, like they're used to sleeping in until maybe 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, California time. And Florida is 3 hours ahead, and basically wanted to get them up in the morning so that we could, get a good start to the day. But it felt like we were dragging them out of bed, even though we tried to let them sleep in a little bit and meet in the middle. But I don't know. They were so tired. Like every night when we'd be done, they just would be out cold so fast. Let me grab a quick drink of water and check on our time real quick. All right. Thankfully, one of the other things that I was nervous about going into this trip was the sleeping arrangements, because our kids both sleep in their own rooms. They don't sleep with us. They have white noise machines. They have bedtime routines. We've done what we've needed to, like, set up these routines so that everyone gets good sleep. And we're all functional and happy. And with, these cabins, there was just the one bedroom. And there was a queen bed and a set of bunk beds. And I ended up requesting a pack and play from the front desk, just because, Micah is actually still sleeping in a crib, which I know, like, he seems like he's a little bit old to be sleeping in a crib, but you know what? He's happy. I'm not messing with something if it's working as far as sleep goes. So I ended up asking for them to bring over a pack and play so that he would kind of have like a familiar sleeping setup. But I was still just nervous about putting both kids to bed like in the same room and then us coming in and sleeping in the bed. I just didn't know. I didn't know if it would throw them off or if they would like wake up early or want to get all up in our business, like sleep in bed with us or what have you. But it worked out fine. We traveled, we brought a white noise machine with us, and I think the kids were just so tired that like they didn't even process the fact that like they were sleeping in the same room, or like when we came to bed, I think they were just sleeping super hard. Okay, now I have to tell you guys some of like the really funny stories about what happened. A few things that happened on our trip. So my favorite one by far, and this is like gonna definitely be one of my favorite memories from this trip. So on our off day where we were not going into the parks, we decided to resort hop a little bit, and that just means that we wanted to go visit some of the other Disney World resorts, because there's lots of fun things to do at the resorts, even if you're not staying there. Like, they're all different themes, and like Disney doesn't do anything halfway. So I had, done a little bit of research to find out, like, okay, what resorts are good to go and just visit, like, if you have a toddler. So we went to a resort called the Art of Animation Resort, because they had like a whole Cars, like as in Cars, the movie, themed setup with like photo op spots, and it was set up to look like Radiator Springs, which is the town in that movie. And so we went there for that, and we had lunch there and stuff. And then we got lucky enough that like someone saw us kind of walking around and looking at the pool and splash pad area and was like, oh, did you guys want to come in? And Micah had been like seriously eyeing this splash pad area. And so we just spur of the moment were like, oh yeah, sure. The reason that we had to like just wait for someone to let us in is because I know I'm a rule breaker here, and I'm normally like a very type A rule follower. So like, I feel bad, like I'm confessing this on the internet and Disney is going to come and get me. But okay. Typically, I think it's more of a formality because Disney is not generally a huge stickler about this sort of thing. But they do have signs posted that say, like, the pool area is only intended for use by guests of this hotel. But we thought, well, we're staying at a different, like, we're still staying on property, and, we're not going swimming. We're just checking out the splash pad area. But I had no intention of actually, like, going to a splash pad area. So I had not brought a swimsuit or change of clothes or anything for Micah. And I thought, that's fine. Like, I have a clean diaper for him. It'll be fine. Like, he'll just get a bit wet and then he'll dry off. Well, you know how I said Disney doesn't do anything halfway? Well, Micah doesn't really do anything halfway either. Micah was at first a little bit shy about like the jets of water shooting up from the ground and out from like the Finding Nemo themed sculptures and stuff. But he very quickly like overcame being shy about it and was just getting utterly, completely soaked. It didn't occur to me until he was already entirely soaked. I was like, well, while I couldn't really justify just letting him run around in a diaper, like I should have just at least taken his shirt off. Like that didn't occur to me to even take his shirt off until it was already completely soaked. So I did then take it off and try to wring it out and let it dry while he continued to play. But when we were finally done, we kind of had to drag him away from it, but he'd been playing there. We'd been playing there for like an hour. It was kind of time to head back. And I'm realizing like he's completely and utterly soaked. He's soaked through. I have a clean diaper for him, but so that like his waterlogged diaper, he doesn't have to like walk around in that. But I don't want to change his diaper and then put him back into sopping wet clothes. Like that just seems mean. So my mother-in-law was like, well, I have my jacket. If you want, we can just wrap him in that. And then I realized, I was like, oh, I have an idea. I said, remember how on our way over here, like just a little bit ago, I bought those ponchos because it was supposed to rain the whole time we were there. So I picked up ponchos like when we had, the first time that we went out that first day before we went to this resort to check out the Art of Animation Resort. I was like, I have those ponchos. What if we just change Micah's diaper and then we just put him in the poncho? Like we just put a poncho over him. And they were like, oh, yeah, that'll work, I suppose. It's, a little, like, at least he can walk in it, because at least it's a poncho, like, drapes over his body. It was just one of those cheap plastic ponchos. except like it had the Disney logo on it, so they like jacked up the price and we paid the stupid tax for not thinking to check the weather ahead of time and just buy ponchos from the dollar store and bring them with us. Oh well, whatever. It was worth it just for this moment because change his diaper, put him in the poncho, put his shoes and socks on, and start walking. And we are just all cracking up because these are just the basic like plastic ponchos and they're relatively see-through. So Micah's wearing this poncho. We're walking back through the resort to get to our shuttle to like go back to our resort, our cabins. And you can totally see that Micah is just in a diaper and then wearing a poncho. Like you could see that he is otherwise naked under the poncho. He looked like he was getting ready to be like a streaker or something. Like it was hysterical. It was absolutely hysterical. And here was the thing is it's not like it was a short walk back to our cabin. We had to take 2 separate shuttles just to get to our resort, to this other resort that we were visiting. And so we had to take 2 shuttles back, and there was lots of walking in between those shuttles. And Micah's perfectly content, but my favorite part was watching the people do double takes when they saw him. Like they would kind of be like, oh, cute baby. And then it's like they'd realize like that baby is just wearing a diaper and a poncho. And just kind of like, especially like other kids would just kind of be very quizzically looking at him like, what am I seeing right now? And I thought, well, only at Disney. Similarly, I don't know. I feel like I'm really showing off my A+ parenting, Adam and I's A+ parenting right now. So like similarly-ish with Connor, I wasn't there for this. This was Adam and, let me check my time really quick. Adam and his sister were taking Connor and my nephews to one of the character breakfasts, the Chef Mickey character breakfast, which is like a classic like breakfast where you get to like see the characters. All the characters stay 6 feet away right now though. So it's from a distance, but like you can wave to them and talk to them and stuff. And it was really funny because after Adam sent me a picture of them there, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember going to the Chef Mickey restaurant for a character breakfast when my family went to Disney World when I was like 6 years old. Like as soon as I saw a picture of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that. And I remember mean mugging the heck out of Pluto when Pluto came to say hi to me. I was not a fan. There's a picture of me just with the sourest look on my face as Pluto's trying to like make me smile for the camera. I've got to have my mom like send that to me or something because that was so funny. Like when I see that picture, I'm like, wow, I was a real brat as a kid. Like, oh my gosh, the stories that my parents have about me. Apparently I just was something else. Maybe I still am, I don't know, or maybe I got it all out of my system then. I'm liking this Max tray, I think. It's definitely making it easier to like multi-place and pour lots of drills in. I'm a fan. Let me grab another color. This kit has 275 colors, so there's lots of color changes, though actually that was a lot of the same color. I think I've just put down 3 or 4 colors at this point, and that's practically color blocking. Anyway, so back to the story about like how we're fabulous parents and how that showed with this like character breakfast they did with Connor. They didn't realize until they were on the shuttle to take the kids from our resort over to the character breakfast, the place where that was, that Connor wasn't wearing socks or shoes. He was just straight barefoot. And they were like, it's kind of too late to go back. Like, we're already like on our way. Like, it would be a whole ordeal for them to like try and go back. So they were like, we're just gonna see if anyone even says, like, notices or says anything. And so then they carried him whenever like they were outside, and like they, you know, if it was the sidewalk or pavement that was hot or something, but like, and they said no one said anything to them. And I think that's just sort of like Disney for you is, you know, there's people that are swimming, there's people that are like they're super sweaty, like, because the humidity in Florida is absolutely bonkers. I don't know. There's just something about like the Disney bubble that like you can just get away with really ridiculous stuff and just no one really notices or cares or says anything, because it's like, okay, sure, this kid is walking through here with the poncho. They're just wearing a poncho and a diaper. Or, oh, whoops, this kid's not wearing shoes. Like, I don't know. It's not like they're laissez-faire about safety or anything like that. It's just that little sort of virtually harmless things like that, they just, it's like they don't care that much, you know, like it's not a big deal. So no one said anything. It was fine, but I'm just cracking up, like knowing that in all of these pictures of Connor at this character breakfast, I don't think there are any where you can see that he's barefoot, but I'm just cracking up knowing that like he's in there and he's barefoot. Also, at said character breakfast, I have picky eaters for children. Connor is very, very picky, and I used to, like, again, like, before you have kids, you are the perfect parent. Like, it's just super simple to you. You're like, oh, if I'm a parent, I just would do X, Y, and Z. My kids are only going to eat what I put in front of them. They're never going to have temper tantrums. They're going to be sweet and well-behaved. They're going to be kind and thoughtful and respectful and polite. Yeah, you are a perfect parent before you have children. So I was definitely one of those people that was like, my kids aren't going to be picky eaters because I am just going to make sure that they get to taste all of the things. And so they're just used to eating a variety of things. That's so cute. Oh, past Katie. You were adorable. No, Micah eats just about anything relatively, but he has very strong opinions if he does not like something. Connor he knows what he likes, and it's difficult to get him to branch out. So the character breakfast was like a buffet style, and what they did, because of, you know, the state of things, is they, instead of having people go up and go through a buffet line, they literally just brought like various platters of everything to the table, and you just took what you wanted. If you needed them to refill any of the dishes, you just, you know, flagged them down and asked. So my nephew was like asking Connor, like, oh, you want to try the Mickey pancakes? Do you want to try this? Do you want to try that? And Connor was just saying like, no, thank you. Like, no, thank you. I don't like that. No, thank you. Blah, blah, blah. And then my nephew, who is like, almost 7, was like, Connor, why aren't you eating any of the amazing, delicious things? Like, very just like mind blown. Like, how could you not want these Mickey chocolate chip pancakes and these like sweet cinnamon rolls and stuff like that? And so he asks Connor, like, why don't you want to eat any of the delicious, yummy, amazing things? And Connor just like, I don't know. Like, he just, I love the things that come out of Connor's mouth. He's hysterical right now. Oh my gosh, he's cracking me up. So that, I think they had a bit of an adventure, but I think it was fun. I got to see lots of cute pictures. But again, I was like, I would have loved to have been there. Like, it would have been so fun. But really, just for sake of practicality, like, the one day that all of us did go into the parks together, we still ended up having to split up because we have 4 kids, most of whom have very strong opinions about what they want to be doing or not doing, and very particular needs. Now let me do a different color. Like, we were together for a very short amount of time. Micah screamed his way through a half an hour line for a ride that I was sure he was going to like, and he ended up hating, screaming his way through. So I felt like a fabulous mom. And after that, I was like, yeah, we're going to go, like, we're not going to do any more rides right now. Like, we're going to go find, like, a show to sit down and watch, and Micah can just chill. And then, anyway, so we split up again, and it was a lot more sane that way. So I went into this vacation planning to just hold my expectations and my ideas for how I thought it would go, or things that I wanted to do. My goal, my mindset that I tried to keep the whole time was just flexibility. I tried to hold it very loosely because I knew we've got 4 young kids, the majority of whom have special needs. And there's just no use in my mind in setting myself up for disappointment. Like, I tried to have a positive mindset and just be very, like, open-minded, willing to try things, and just finding the good in the stress and the craziness. But I was also trying to just be realistic, because if I would have gone into it expecting that we were going to, like, really get to do a lot in the parks, or that we were going to have, like, all of this wonderful, like, family time where we were all together and everyone was singing Kumbaya and everything, I would have been, like, just super, super disappointed. And I think I'm going to try to keep this mindset for when we do vacations again, like, in the future, just to keep this mindset of, let's have some ideas for things that we might like to have happen, but let's just hold it loosely and be okay with things not going the way that we had in our heads. And I know that saved my sanity on this trip. I was very anxious going into this trip, you guys. Very, very anxious about the flight and the doing Disney in 3 days kind of thing. Like, I knew it was going to be a lot, and it was utterly exhausting. We got home early afternoon, California time, on Thursday, and, like, I had blisters on my feet. I had some sunburn from areas I didn't realize that sunscreen had sort of rubbed off. We were all exhausted. We put the kids to bed like an hour early. They passed out cold. I was asleep by 10 p.m. Like, I was out cold. Where are we at? Okay. I was out cold, like, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I could not tell you the last time that I fell asleep at 10 o'clock. Like, oh my gosh. We slept so hard. We were so exhausted. And it's taken me a couple of days to recover. Like, my husband kept saying, I need a vacation from our vacation. So all this to say, it really was a special trip. I am coming away from it with a lot of really lovely memories. I'm very glad that we were able to do it, and I think that it meant a lot to Adam's family that we were able to do it, and it makes me want to try to make a priority of just our family of 4 being able to do vacations together, and it helps to see that, like, Micah is getting older. He's old enough now that I don't think a family vacation would be super difficult, because that's one of the things that's been holding me back from, like, trying to do a family vacation, is that Micah is he's a runner. He's a wild card. I kept thinking, like, I don't know if it's going to even be enjoyable or if it's just going to be stressful. But now that I have a sense for sort of like how that could look, I feel like that gives me an idea for the kinds of vacation that I might want to do with Micah right now. And, you know, as he gets older, he's just going to get like more mature and be able to handle things. Like, Connor is such a fun age to vacation with right now, and I don't want to wish the years away whatsoever, but it just kind of keeps feeling like I'm seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I'm seeing the, like, okay, now we'll be able to sort of like do a little bit more together as a family without it just being about, okay, how can we make this so that we're not having to just chase Micah everywhere. Funnily enough, I did not ever end up using the backpack leash. Like, Micah was pretty good about holding our hands. And if we had to wait in a line or something, I would just like try to distract him with my phone or find just other things to sort of keep him occupied. Thank goodness that we just had upgraded to unlimited data on our phone plan, because if we hadn't, we would have blown our limit wide open on this trip. So that worked out really well. But when we flew back, it felt like from the moment we landed back in California and we like stepped off the plane, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to not have humidity. Like, okay, hold on, one more drink. Because here's the thing. I don't know how if you live in Florida or if you live like in the South with humidity, I don't know how you do it. I just don't, because I'm not cut out for it. I felt like I was swimming through the air. It was like 90 degrees Fahrenheit the whole time we were there, which is hot even without humidity. But with 100% humidity, it felt like it was over oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, I'm still tired. I'm still jet lagged. With 100% humidity, it felt like it was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit easily. And it didn't cool down that much overnight. I felt like I was perpetually sweating. I was sweating the whole time we were there. It was so gross. I felt disgusting. And like any pictures that there are of me or really any of us on this trip, it's like we're glowing, and not in the like pretty model-esque way. No, we're glowing because there is just a constant sheen of sweat all over our faces. I have chin acne from having to wear a mask and sweating for 3 days straight. I have chin acne that's like worse than anything I ever had as a teenager. Like, what in the heck? How do y'all live with humidity? Like, I can't. Yeah. Like, this is why, like, if I lived in Florida, I don't even know that I would have Disney World passes, because, like, I wouldn't want to go. It's so hot. And it was so crowded, you guys. It was so busy. But we were very fortunate to be able to use a system that they have that they abbreviated as DAS, like a DAS pass, and it stands for Disability Access Services or something like that. And what it is that if someone in your party has a legitimate disability, whether it's physical or something like autism, which, hello, like I said, 3 out of the 4 kids in our group, like, yes, that's them. It's a system where you're not skipping the line, but you don't have to wait in the line. So you can do this like for one ride at a time. And so if there's a ride that we wanted to ride, so for example, we really wanted to take the kids on the Frozen ride at Epcot because all of our kids love the movie Frozen. They are all boys. They all love the movie Frozen, and I love it too. Like, I'm all about it. But the line for that ride was an hour long. And so we had gone up to, we had talked to guest services because we knew this was a thing you could do. And, they had said, okay, now it's, there's a note on your pass that you can get a DAS pass for a ride. And you can, like I said, you can only do it for one ride at a time. So we went up to the Frozen ride and said, hi, like, we have a DAS pass for, like, kids in our party. Can we get a return time, please? The wait time was an hour. And so they said, okay, come back at this time, which was an hour from now. So we still had to wait that length of time before we could ride the ride, but we didn't have to spend that time in line. And that was a lifesaver. And like I said, you can only do it for one ride at a time. So like, it's not like we could just go around to all of the rides and get return times for all of them. It was like you got the return time for Frozen. After we rode Frozen, like actually rode it, then we could go get a return time for a different ride. So it's not really something you can take advantage of. And again, you're not really skipping the line. You're just waiting in line, not in the actual physical line. So that is a lifesaver for like parents in our shoes, where we had kids with that are not neurotypical, and that's the kind of accommodation that can make a huge difference for them. That was a lifesaver. Also a lifesaver, cooling towels. Oh my gosh. They're these special towels with some kind of crazy cooling fabric that you just get the towels damp. You just run them underwater. You kind of wring them out and snap them. And then you just drape them around your neck. And it just like, it wicks away the sweat, and it's this coolness on your, on that pulse point at the back of your neck. And it just helps you cool off. And it lasts for a few hours, and then you can just wet it underwater again, and it's like it starts right back over. So that was a lifesaver too. You know what, you guys? I think I've been chatting your ear off for a long time. Yeah, we're almost at the hour mark. So I feel like I still have even more stories I could share about Disney, and maybe I will in the next, I almost said the next vlog. No, the next WIP and Chat. But this was kind of fun. I hope that you enjoyed hearing some of the crazy stories, especially the Micah poncho story. That's my favorite. And I guess if you're interested, I did vlog my way through Disney World quite a bit, and that ended up going into my weekly Patreon vlog, which I'll go ahead and just throw out a small plug here. We're halfway through the month. Once we get to like the last half of the month, I don't necessarily like to promote my Patreon as much because of how the payment works, because you always get billed on the first of the month, no matter what, like even if you've just signed up like a few days before the first of the month. But anyway, I have a Patreon, and it's a smaller kind of tight-knit community, and for 2 of the 3 tiers, you get access to a weekly vlog from me. And it's just where I show like sort of the day-to-day, like what's going on in my personal life, and like behind the scenes with my channel and with diamond painting and whatnot. And so they already got to see like lots and lots of video vlogging, vlogging, whatever, while I was at Disney World. So feel free to go and check that out. No matter when you join, you get access to the backlog of posts, depending on which tier you sign up for. So like if you sign up for a tier that gets access to my vlogs, you'll get access to like all the vlogs I've ever posted on my Patreon. So I have that linked in my description if you're interested in checking it out. It has all of the details, like the various perks that I offer, and it's never ever something that's expected or required. It's just a way for those of you that want to get to see a little bit more from me and also support my channel in an additional way. It's just an option for you to do that. So anyway, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. We actually got a decent dent in this section, I feel like, because there was a decent amount of color blocking in here. So I don't know if I'm quite going to finish this section tonight, but it would be cool if I did. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. If you made it all the way to the end of the vlog, let's why don't you put in an emoji that you associate with Disney? Whether it's like a castle or a mouse or like a mermaid or, I don't know, anything. Just throw up an emoji that, yeah, makes you think of something Disney. It was really good to catch up with you guys. I missed doing a WIP and Chat last week and was really looking forward to doing this one and catching up with you all. Please let me know how your week, the past couple of weeks have been for you and what you've been up to. And feel free to let me know what you're working on. I do read all my comments, and I'm going to be playing catch up on my many comments that I haven't responded to yet, including on this video as well. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up before you head out. And if you're not already subscribed and you made it all the way to the end, you will probably like it here. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you can also hit the bell to be notified when I put up new videos. Alrighty, I hope you have a really, really wonderful rest of your week, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.